Welcome to another sunny day here in Cancun, our final day on vacation, getting ready to go, but I thought I'd shoot out another video here. So this is a pre-retirement checklist, and this is from Fred Vetesse's book, Retirement Income for Life, which I'm reading here in Cancun on vacation. The first one you want to do is make sure your mortgage is paid off by the time you retire. Now, if you're hitting retire and you still have a small mortgage, that's not a problem. Just make sure you build that into your overall retirement plan. But ideally, you want to enter retirement without that mortgage payment or any debt payment for that matter. So work hard as you lead up to retirement. We have a lot of clients that say, you know, they kind of time their retirement with when their mortgage is going to be paid off. So that's something to keep in mind. The second thing you want to do on that checklist is to make sure you pay off your credit card debts on a monthly basis. Now this kind of ties into the first one, right? Get rid of those debts. Don't carry any debt into retirement. That can be detrimental for you. So make sure you eliminate any type of debt, credit card debt, lines of credit, mortgage payments, all that before you retire. The third piece of advice Fred gives here, and I fully agree with it, is don't use your line of credit for regular spending. Now, it's good to have a line of credit as you head into retirement. It's for an emergency fund, a fallback, whatever it is, but it should be a short-term need, not an ongoing regular expense type need. So again, make sure you have a line of credit set up heading into retirement, but don't use it for everyday spending. If you need to dip into it short-term for something, that's fine, but don't use it for everyday spending. A lot of you are, especially early in retirement, you dip into the line of credit, you're not used to the cash flow. Make sure you have a plan heading into retirement so you don't fall into that trap. The fourth item on that checklist is if you have kids, to make sure that they're financially independent before you head into retirement. Your kids can derail your retirement plan quicker than anything else. If your kids come leaning on you, they need money, it can put you back to work. We've heard the horror story, so make sure you set up your kids in a good financial position. We actually have a financial masterclass, we'll put the link below in this video, that you can buy for them. We have a BOGO deal right now, buy one, get one free. And it's, again, just kind of 100 videos, content, financial education, help get them on track. Again, educate your kids, have them savings, educate them around compound interest, paying off mortgage, paying off debt, that type of thing. So work with them because it will help you as you get into retirement. The fifth tip for you is to make sure your investments are not locked in. And there's kind of two layers to this. Layer one is to make sure you're not in any DSC, a deferred sales charge fund. This is a mutual fund, possibly an ETF, a segregated fund, some type of pooled investment where you are penalized if you take money out early. So a typical DSC mutual fund, which was really popular back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, was if you pull your money out in the first 7 years, you're penalized up to 5%. And so as you enter retirement, obviously, you don't want that because you need to start drawing that money out. So make sure your advisor hasn't put you in, or your bank hasn't put you into a DSC mutual fund that you're going to have to pay a penalty just to draw your regular income out of. The second one is becoming more of a popular investment, which is more of a private equity, private placement, real estate investments. These type of investments often have a 3, 5, 10-year hold period. Again, if you're entering retirement and you need income, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have an investment that you're locked into for long term. And we've had some clients that have hired us to do plans for them where we were unable to get them the income they needed based solely on the fact that their investments were locked up for 3 to 5 more years. So they had to work longer, not because they needed the money, but because they didn't have access to their money. So make sure your investments are not locked up, they're accessible to you. Again, this might be some planning leading up to retirement. It's not a last minute thing. This is a 3, 5, 10-year timeline or runway as you lead up to retirement. The sixth tip for you out of 7, and we have one more after this, is to make sure your marriage is on solid foundation. And again, you know, if you're not single, whatever, you don't have to worry about this one. But if you are married, divorce and retirement is becoming very common, and that will derail your retirement faster than anything else. So make sure you're investing in your marriage. There's a lot of investments you need to make in life. Your marriage needs to be one of them. So make sure your marriage is on a solid footing so that it's not going to break up in retirement and derail the whole plan altogether. So again, spend time on that, especially if you're both entering retirement around the same time. It's a big life transition for both of you. You're both going to feel it. So make sure that you pour into each other, work on your marriage to make sure that it survives and thrives right through retirement. The seventh and final tip I have for you is to make sure you understand CPP and old age security. Not just what they are and how they work, but how much you're going to get, how they integrate into your income plan. Again, hire a financial planner or work with your financial planner to create a plan that looks at different options. If you take your CPP at 60, 65, 70, somewhere in between, your old age security you can take between 65 and 70. Again, there's a better time and a worse time. And again, if you haven't read this book, Fred Vetesse, Retirement Inc. for Life, I'll link it below. This is a book you want to read. It goes through a lot of things we talk about on this channel, but it also, he's an actuary. He takes a lot of the data, the numbers. Again, a scenario I'm just reading through right now and then later in the book is, you know, if one of the spouse dies early, should you have taken CPP early? And rarely does it make sense. But again, you probably think it would make sense. But again, if you're not running the numbers, you're not going to know. So make sure you put the numbers together with your financial planner, understand what CPP is, how long you paid in, how much you're going to get, all the rules behind it, you know, dropout years, child rearing provision. There's a lot that goes on with these benefits. So make sure you understand them. So there's your 7 tips, retirement checklist, heading into retirement. Make sure you go through all 7. Don't skip any of them. It will cost you in retirement.